Chapter 2, The Moment She Chose Me. I remember feeling a bit sheepish, as if I had participated in a charade, because later we would find out how truly magnificent Secret was. It was like she pretended she was lame and then suddenly wasn't, but no matter. She'd stopped limping the moment I said yes, like the spell had lifted, and part of me still wondered if she'd faked the whole thing, either to test me or to make sure that she got me. What I did then is how I do a lot of things. I took private lessons. I had someone come out and work with me one-on-one with her for several weeks so I would know how to do things like properly pick out hooves and how to brush her and how to actually wash her, how to put a bridle on, how to put a bit in, something I found monstrous. But I figured I needed to learn all the things that I possibly could, how to mount her, how to ride her, since I had no clue. I had ridden quite a number of horses, many bareback when I was very young, but no one taught me anything. I just got on the horse and went. And now, as a careful adult, I wanted to respect her and respect myself. I wanted to learn. And she wanted someone who wanted to learn her. And let's be honest, I was trying very hard to be a good girl horse owner, a woman who didn't just love her horse, but did everything right. It wasn't about impressing anyone at the barn. It was about trying to calm that constant anxiety I carried, the deep internal pressure to mask all the places I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have the language yet for autism or ADHD or hyper-responsibility, but I knew the sensation. Keep it together, figure it out, don't let them see how lost you are. When it was just Secret and me, we actually did okay. We did great even. But the minute other humans got involved, it got a little messy because one of us would get dysregulated. If it was me, even ways I didn't understand, she would mirror it, not in obvious ways. She'd just become uncooperative, aloof, a brat. She'd stand at the far end of the pasture and refuse to come anywhere near me. She never did anything unsafe, but she absolutely refused to perform for me when I was leaking a rage I couldn't name. That was one of her first teachings. Don't bring chaos into the field and expect connection. So here she was, suddenly my responsibility. The papers were signed, the moment came, and she never really came up to me without hesitation until I made that inner decision that I was going to be hers. And as soon as those papers were signed, she walked right up to me, bowed her head, and placed it squarely into my chest. She let out that deep, rumbling sigh horses do when something finally lets go inside them. And she stayed. She didn't fidget. She didn't bolt. She didn't look for something else to do. She just stayed, head pressed against my body like she was plugging into something she already knew. I was the one who had to walk away, eventually, to go get her feed. That was when things got real interesting, real fast. I didn't think it was right to just jump on her back and trot her around. First of all, I didn't know how to do that without help. And I cared about all kinds of things that would make a real horse person laugh, snicker, or jeer. But I was going to do it my way, regardless of how stupid somebody else thought it seemed. So the first order of business, get her up to date, shots, teeth-floated Coggins, a full vet visit. She was behind on everything. I remember when the vet arrived and said, "Can you lead her out to the round pen?" And I just blinked at him like he asked me to read an ancient scroll. The words made sense individually, but together, total gibberish. I didn't know what he meant. I didn't even know what I didn't know. My face must have said as much because he kindly put the halter on her and walked her out, then let me hold the lead rope while he did what he needed doing. She did feel safe with him. And Secret, a model of perfection, standing still, present, resigned, but good. I also had to do the Coggins photos, which meant I had to somehow get her to turn left, then right, and hold still for each. Horses don't know what a camera is, but she tried. She tried hard. And she let me see it, that inner eye roll of hers, like, you humans are ridiculous. But the truth is, she was patient with me in a way I had never seen her be with anyone else. Not with the young woman who owned her before, not with the young girl who might have taken her next. She didn't like any of them. She barely tolerated the young woman who technically had owned her, and she only endured the little girl not because she liked her, but because she disliked everyone else even more. She had no real interest in bonding. She was watching, measuring, resigned to humans, but not impressed by them. Secret didn't need new tricks. She had more tricks than I could have ever imagined. She knew every party trick in the book, tricks I didn't even know how she knew. She was like a circus horse in disguise, just waiting for someone not to ask her to prove it. But she did need me to learn how to speak to her. During another lesson, the trainer showed me how to lead with confidence, how to speak through the rope, not with dominance, but with intention. The big thing she noticed, Secret wouldn't leave the barn with me. She was okay in a pasture, okay in a round pen, but ask her to go out into the open, into the metaphorical ocean? Absolutely not. She'd follow me into a pool maybe, but not out to sea. And then it happened. I tried to lead her out from the barn. She was hesitant, but she followed just a little. I was proud of that. Progress. Then a horsefly landed squarely on her back, her second least favorite thing in the world, and she knew I wasn't going to do a damn thing to help her, because I was afraid of them too. What she needed was for my loyalty to her to override my fear, and I wasn't there yet. She exploded, bucked, kicked, leapt up and down, tore the lead rope from my hands, flung herself on the ground trying to get that fly off, then bolted like a banshee back to the barn. She stood there shaking, snorting, blowing, and I got the message. You don't get to lead a sovereign creature into the wild until you've earned it. And I hadn't. Not yet. I waited several months before I ever got on her back, because this wasn't about riding a horse. It was about learning how to be with a horse, which meant learning how to be with myself. And eventually, she started giving me signs. She'd back her rump up to the fence so I could scratch her behind. She'd stand there for hours if I let her until my hands ached. She'd watch me closely during feed time, clocking the hierarchy and the chaos from this one dominant horse who bullied everyone else. She wasn't asking me to hurry. She was waiting for me to arrive whole. And here's where the field shifted. I didn't just drop the feed and leave. I stayed. I watched, and I saw what was happening. That one horse was hoarding, pushing the others away, even Secret, who was fierce, who would normally break up fights to let the others eat. But that horse was relentless. And so I stepped in, me, a human. I intervened. I walked right into the middle of it and made sure Secret could eat in peace. That was the first time she understood I was with her, not just near her. And that was the moment she began protecting me, too. Field note, becoming worthy of the lead mare. The thing about truly being with a horse is that you can't fake it. They know. They always know. Secret didn't test me with tantrums or theatrics. She tested me with silence, with hesitation, with the refusal to follow me into open space. She let me scratch her back for hours, sure, let me lead her around the round pen, but the first time I tried to walk her out beyond the barn into the wide, uncontained world, she made it crystal clear I hadn't earned her yet. A fly landed on her back, she panicked, and she knew I wouldn't help her, because I was afraid of them too. And that was the test. Would I let my fear govern me, or would I override it for her? The answer in that moment was no. So she exploded. She ran. She told me with her whole body, don't take me out there until you're ready to hold what happens. That was the day I realized I wasn't leading a horse. I was walking with a sovereign being who required coherence, not control. She didn't want to be ridden. She wanted to be met. She didn't need a handler. She needed a mirror. And for that to work, I had to become worthy of the lead mare. So I stayed. I learned. I took the lessons. I paid attention. I listened. Not with my ears, with my body, with my breath, with my nervous system. She wasn't just testing me. She was waiting for the version of me she could meet in full. Eventually, she started meeting me there. And when she did, I began to feel something I had never fully known. Trusted by her, by myself, by the rhythm of something older than both of us, curling just beneath the surface of the field.